I think the new paradigm for healthcare is that people heal themselves.
Right.
That what we really need to do in this world is stop being biased, stop being salespeople. What we need to do is say, we can teach, we can support, we can help, but you must heal yourself.
Right.
That's the 21st century. That's where it's heading. Let's go back again. What you get from raw food, and once you cook it, it's gone, is hormones, showed you what that did, oxygen, showed you what that did, phytochemicals, most important thing we ever discovered, okay, and enzymes. Every single creature on this earth, every single animal except humans and the poor animals we've domesticated, eat a 100% raw food diet. They don't cook food, they don't prepare food. They certainly don't put pesticides, fungicides, herbicides, genetic modification, and grow it in sand and call it soil. They certainly don't put spray and preservatives on it afterward or irradiate it. They don't do any of those things. And by the way, the average wild creature lives 7 times the length of their maturity. So if a bird takes a year to mature, they will live 7 years. If a human's average life maturity is 20, we should be living 20 times 7. How many of you think you're going to live 140 years? Raise your hand. And 55 years ago this year, in 2011, Hippocrates opened our doors. It's the oldest alternative health center, and we've been given renown internationally with awards as the #1 healing center on the planet Earth. And it's not because there's one magical thing we do here. It's because over the years, over the half century or more, we've understood that healing and health are multifaceted.
Good day, everyone. We're here with Dr. Brian Clement of the Hippocrates Institute. Hippocrates has been around for about 55 years, and now 41 years Brian has been running the institute as the director. He tours about 150 days a year, is that correct?
Yes.
Spreading the good word, and what I believe is part of a movement that is going to sweep across the nation, hopefully, and save all of us. I've just got a few questions for Brian today. Brian, it's been a long day. You've been traveling, and you just gave a great lecture here in Portland, Oregon, so I'm going to keep these questions brief. I'm hopefully the answers won't be too brief. #1, could you educate our viewers on some of the most common myths associated with living food lifestyle? Specifically, where will I get my protein if I don't have meat? Where will I get my calcium for my bones if I don't drink milk? And where will I get my vitamins and minerals?
Well, all 3 of those questions were precipitated by marketers out of Madison Avenue from the meat and dairy industry, the food industries. Even in formal education, as nutritional scientists, we're given the same propaganda. And so let's address each of those. The first answer is quite simple. All life on this planet, every drop of life, including you, comes from the sun. And how it is captured on this planet is through something called the photosynthesis process. And that's on the leaf of a plant. So all life is captured on the leaf of a plant. Now, would it make a little bit of sense to the listeners today to consume a fresh, raw leaf of a plant if you want the most protein? Because all protein is there. It's manufactured through photosynthesis, every drop of it. The most vitamins, the most minerals, the most essential fatty acids. Spinach has a great source of essential fatty acids. It's 19% protein, as an example. And we've missed that because an industry for vested interest convinced you should let an animal eat the leaf, you then slaughter the animal, cook the animal, and you get nutrition. Completely off track, people. Our organization for 55 years has placed hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people on a plant-based diet, and not one suffer a protein deficiency. But many, many meat eaters that we test with our medical department do so. They have the deficiencies. #2, dairy food precipitated by the dairy industry. There is not a creature on this earth that drinks milk after they wean. Not a creature. Now, if somebody just thinks a little bit, you don't have to be a genius, you don't have to be a scientist, just a little bit. Do you think that nature meant that we should get on our knees and drink from the breast of a cow? Well, if so, I guess milk consumption from a cow is a good thing for you. Or how about a goat? Now, should we get next to a goat and drink from its breast? Well, if you think so, then go right ahead. But if you have a little bit of reality and common sense, you'd realize that the only milk we should ever consume, and not enough of us do long enough, is mother's milk. And after approximately a 2-year period, we no longer need that. And not only does that give your immune system the antibodies it needs permanently to make you stronger, healthier, and maintain vitality, but it also bonds with the mother. Too few women today breastfeed for the prerequisite 2 years to have all of that happen. So milk consumption, other than mother's milk, is not a human experience. And just like the largest creatures on the earth get their calcium from greens, you need to, as I have. When we train Olympic athletes and we test thousands of people, we don't find calcium deficiencies in people. And as a matter of fact, let's be candid, even with junk food diets, there's not many calcium deficiencies. It's just a sham. The calcium supplements that are on the market, sadly, are mostly oyster shells that are ground up, that are very good at giving you hardening of the arteries, or second, chalk, which is very good at giving you cancer.